Welcome to ITSec. So today we are going to install OpenSSL and use it with WAMP Server. So let's begin. So the first thing to do is to install WAMP. Then we need to install OpenSSL. So OpenSSL is a free and open source command line tool to generate private key and SSL certificate. So with the private key and the SSL certificate generated with the OpenSSL, we'll see how to configure your WAMP installation to use with it successfully. If you want to learn more about TLS, you can watch my other video on TLS 1.2 analysis with Wireshark. So this will give you a detailed explanation on how the TLS handshake works. So you can download the WAMP server from its official website. It's www.wampserver.com. So open your browser and go to the wampserver.com. So this is the home page of wampserver.com. So you can click on download. So there you can see the 32-bit and 64-bit WAMP server for the Windows operating system. You can download it and install. I will skip this part as I have already installed the WAMP server in my laptop. So the next thing is to install the OpenSSL in your computer. So there are various SSL certificate providers. Some of them are free and some are under the paid category. OpenSSL is a free and open source command line tool to generate SSL certificate and a private key for it. So you can use this URL to download the OpenSSL installation relevant to your computer. Now we are in the slproweb.com to download the OpenSSL. So you can go to products. There you can see a link to download OpenSSL for Windows. Click on it. And further below, you can see a table. The newest version of OpenSSL, version 3.1.0 is available in slproweb. Depending on your operating system, you can either download Windows 64-bit or Windows 32-bit. So we'll go for the Windows 64-bit exe. We'll click here. So we'll run the exe to install the OpenSSL. So it will be installed into C program files OpenSSL for Windows 64-bit. You can also change the path. Click on next. Click on next. Click on next. Click on install. And click finish. Now we will verify whether this is successfully installed or not. So we'll go to C drive and program files and browse for OpenSSL folder. Here it is. And you can see that it is being successfully installed. So the next one to do is to open your terminal or the command line and change the directory to the bin folder in OpenSSL Windows 64 directory. So you need to run this as the administrator. Now change your directory to the OpenSSL folder. Now we are in the bin directory of the OpenSSL folder. Now we have completed two steps. The first one is to install the WAMP server. The second one is to install the OpenSSL. So the next step is to create the private key and the SSL certificate. So now we'll clear this out. Okay. Now you are in the bin directory. Now the first command to create the private key. It's open-ssl space gen rsa space hyphen AES 256 space -out private dot key. So what this means is you use OpenSSL to generate the RSA key with the 256-bit AES standard for encrypting and write in the output to the private.key file. So once you enter, it will ask for the passphrase. So we'll put it as itsec hub SSL, and you need to confirm it. So you can give it again, itsec hub SSL, and it will create the private.key file inside the bin directory. Okay, now we'll clear this out. Now the next command is to take what is inside this private.key file and regenerating the key file using RSA. Now for that, you can type open-ssl space RSA in, that is in private.key, and out private.key. So what this means is you use OpenSSL and to RSA to generate the key file, and you take what is inside the private key. You read the private.key file, and using RSA algorithm, you again writing a key file inside the private.key file. So this is actually replacing the old key file with the new one. So you need to give the passphrase used at the first stage, that is itsec hub SSL. Now you have done with the private key generation, so it is listed there inside the bin directory. So the next step is to generate the certificate. So we'll clear this out. So the command to create the certificate is open-ssl space req, that is for the request, space -new. You need a new certificate in the standard format of X509 with no DES encryption standard. That is, you are not using data encryption standard. This is not nodes, but it is no DES. And you are using SHA1 as the hashing algorithm, and you use the key in the private.key file, and you are writing the output to the certificate.crt file, and this is valid for 10 years, that is 365 into 400 years, and this is valid for 100 years. So we'll enter this. Yes, the key file's name is wrong. It's private.key. So the country name, state or province name, locality name, organization name, personal, no itsec hub at gmail.com. Done. So now we'll go to the Windows Explorer and move to the bin folder inside the OpenSSL installation and locate the certificate file and the private.key file. So we'll move this into another folder called key. So we'll create a folder and name it as key, and we'll copy certificate and the private.key file to this newly created key folder. Now we'll rename this as old, and also rename the private.key file as old. Now the next thing is we'll move the key folder, we'll cut it into the WAMP directory. So you have to locate the conf folder inside the Apache directory in WAMP folder. So you have to go to the WAMP directory, then the bin folder, then the Apache. Inside the Apache you have the bin folder and the conf folder. So you have to go inside the conf folder and paste your key folder there. Now the WAMP directory has the private key and the certificate inside the conf folder. Now the rest of the part is for the configuration. You have to change some parameters in httpd.conf and httpd_ssl.conf. Now in httpd.conf you have 3 records to be changed. The first one is the load module SO cache, that is the shared object cache provider in Apache. And the second one is the SSL module. And the third one is you are enabling to access the httpd-ssl.conf file. So we will open the httpd.conf file. So your httpd.conf file resides in your conf directory of the Apache folder. So this is the httpd.conf file and we will open it. Now the first one to locate is the load module section. So we'll search for it. So under the load module, you have the SO cache, that is the shared object cache provider, and you have to uncomment it. Here I have already uncommented this. And the next one is the load module SSL module. So this also has to be uncommented. And the next one is to enable the access to httpd-ssl.conf file. So you have to go down below, or rather we'll search for it. We'll type httpd-ssl.conf. So you have it here. So this has to be uncommented. You will find a hash mark in front of this. Please delete it. And so this will enable the access to the httpd-ssl.conf file. So you have to save this file now. The next one is to open the httpd-ssl.conf file. So the path is given here. So it resides in the extra directory in the conf directory. So conf, then to extra, then the httpd-ssl.conf. You open it with Notepad. Now there are a few changes to do with httpd-ssl.conf file. So you have to change the document root to the www folder in your WAMP installation. Then the server name can be given as the localhost with the port number 443. So that for the server admin, you can give any email. I have given admin@itsechhub.com, and then the path for your private key and the path for your certificate. Then path for your log file for SSL cache and the path for your log file for SSL request. So these are the modifications that you have to do in your httpd-ssl.conf file. So we'll open this file and do the necessary modifications. So the first thing to do is the document root. So the document root has to be set into a www folder of your WAMP installation. Then the server name has to be given as the localhost with the 443 port number. Then the server admin, you can give any email address. I will give it as admin@itsechhub.com. Then for the error log, you have to change the path to the logs folder. So this is my path for the logs folder. So same as above, the transfer log path has to be changed. Then make sure that the SSL engine is on. Then the next one is to provide the path for the certificate file. So the certificate file is inside the key directory that we have just created. So you have to give the path for that file. Make sure that the SSL certificate file is uncommented. Then the private key file. It is for the SSL certificate key file. So you have to give the path for the private key as well. Then the cache. So the path of the SSL session has to be changed. So it has to be directed to the log file of the Apache. Make sure that you use the shmcb instead of dbm. And the cache size needed to be 512,000. And the last one to do, it is the custom log. So it's the last line in the file. So the path has to be changed to the log directory in the Apache folder. So all these changes were done under the tags of virtual host. This is the ending of the virtual host tag. And this is the beginning of the virtual host tag. And it is with the 443 port. Now save this. So there's another file that you need to modify, that is the php.ini file. So the php.ini file is inside the WAMP directory. So you go to WAMP, then go to bin, then go to php. Inside the php, you can find the php.ini file. So you can open it and search for extension equals php_open-ssl.dll. So you need to uncomment this. Make sure that you don't have the semicolon in front of the extension. So if it is there, you can remove it and save the file. So now we've done all these. Now with the command prompt, you can move to the bin directory of the Apache folder in WAMP and type httpd -t. So this will make sure that all the modifications that you've done in httpd.conf and httpd-ssl.conf are correct. So you have the syntax OK. So if there's any error, it will display here. Now the syntax are OK. So that means our SSL configuration is OK. Now you can restart the WAMP server. So we'll start the WAMP server and see whether it is starting. Okay, the color was changed to green. The server is online. So we'll see whether the application is running with HTTPS. We'll go to Firefox. My server address is https://192.168.8.103/ITEQ is my project. So it is giving the web page. So this is how you are installing OpenSSL and configuring it for the WAMP server. We will release another video comparing HTTP and HTTPS. So this will showcase how TLS and SSL certificates are practically used in HTTPS. So stay tuned with IT Sec Hub.